The story begins with a Tsukumogami attacking Hyoma's siblings. Both of them die right in front of Hyoma's eyes. In their last moments, they use their remaining energy to help Hyoma escape. Fast forward, and we see Hyoma growing older, chasing down Tsukumogami, while his grandpa seals another one peacefully, sending it to the afterlife without any violence. Talk about a spiritual retirement plan. After his grandfather finishes, the police show up, worried about whether Hyoma can handle the other Tsukumogami. But Grandpa has faith in him, so they go to check on Hyoma. When they arrive, they find Hyoma almost sealing the Tsukumogami by force. Grandpa isn't pleased at all because Hyoma always goes for the violent option. No wonder, he hates Tsukumogami like a vampire hates garlic. Grandpa tries to explain that most of the time, problems can be solved peacefully. After all, many Tsukumogami are just confused spirits, not evil. Grandpa advises Hyoma to use force only as a last resort. But Hyoma remains stubborn, convinced that every Tsukumogami is evil and needs to be dealt with, permanently. So, Grandpa tells him about a person who lives with 6 other Tsukumogami in the Nagatsuki family. He suggests that Hyoma live with them for a year. Hyoma doesn't want to, but Grandpa threatens to cancel his inheritance as head of the Kanato Seinomi family if he refuses. So, the next day, Hyoma reluctantly goes to the Nagatsuki family, while Grandpa hopes he'll learn that not all Tsukumogami are evil. After all, it's hard to hold a grudge when you're living under the same roof. When Hyoma arrives at Boten Nagatsuki's estate, he's greeted by Haori and Kushiki. Soon, the rest of the Nagatsuki family returns, and Hyoma makes a big scene. First, he makes it clear that he hates Tsukumogami more than Mondays and doesn't trust them at all, because one of them killed his siblings. Nagi tries to be friendly, but Hyoma insults his beloved master, Boten, sparking a fight. Nagi, being a Tsukumogami, creates swords but doesn't want to kill Hyoma, so he attacks with the flat side of his blade. But the experienced Hyoma fends off his attack and uses a Seinomi family power to make the swords disappear. Hyoma is about to launch a counterattack when news arrives that Boten is returning from university any moment. So, everyone stops the fight, although Hyoma still takes a few hits. Even Nagi feels a bit sorry when Boten arrives and Hyoma, with the last of his strength, introduces himself and promptly passes out. Talk about making an entrance. When Hyoma wakes up, Boten apologizes for the Tsukumogami's behavior. But Hyoma brushes it off, saying it was his fault. He then explains more about the Seinomi family and their special powers that come from the guardian of the boundary. However, Hyoma's anger soon resurfaces as he insults Boten's Tsukumogami, calling them dangerous and expressing his desire to wipe them out. This makes Boten both angry and sad, and she bursts into tears, declaring that she doesn't want him living in her house if he's going to insult her family. Boten gives Hyoma 3 days to get to know her family's Tsukumogami better. Since he has to live there for a year to fulfill Grandpa's request, Hyoma reluctantly agrees. Nagi, who has started to warm up to Hyoma, offers to accompany him on an assignment. Meanwhile, kind Boten worries if her condition is too strict. Meanwhile, Nagi assures Hyoma that they belong to a special group of Tsukumogami who are allowed to live in this world and must hunt and seal others like them to continue doing so. As they arrive at an evil Tsukumogami, the spirit arrogantly attacks them. Hyoma quickly ends the fight and seals it away. On their way back, Nagi slowly gains Hyoma's trust, and Hyoma finally shares the reason for his hatred: his brother and sister were murdered by a paper umbrella Tsukumogami. Ever since then, he's harbored a deep hatred for all Tsukumogami. Imagine that, a killer umbrella. A real case of bad weather. The next day, Boten notices that Hyoma is very formal. He even wants everyone's signatures to pass Boten's conditions so that he can continue living with them. During an assignment with Suzuri and Kagami, Hyoma gets angry again because Suzuri keeps flirting with women and Kagami is busy buying snacks, 2 things that don't sit well with the disciplined Hyoma. Suzuri explains his behavior, and Hyoma tries to accept it, though grudgingly. After all, even spirits have cravings, right? During another assignment, a suspicious Tsukumogami woman appears in front of them. This time, it's a good Tsukumogami, but she must pass a test to continue living in this world. Kagami uses her powers to check the woman's past and ensures she hasn't committed any crimes. After passing the test, Suzuri takes her to do the paperwork, while Hyoma and Kagami head back to the Nagatsuki estate. Suddenly, the suspicious Tsukumogami launches an attack, kicking Suzuri's head off. Hyoma reacts quickly, taking Kagami to safety before confronting the Tsukumogami. She starts crying, revealing that she only freaked out because she heard the name Nagatsuki. As she had heard rumors about them hunting and killing their own kind, realizing this, Hyoma stops the seal. Suzuri regenerates his body, and the situation ends peacefully. Kagami is pleased that Hyoma managed to control himself and says that Tsukumogami can continue living in this world. She's just a bit too suspicious, but not a real danger. Back at the estate, Hyoma trains with Kagami, who helps with his workout. Meanwhile, evil Tsukumogami are plotting to wipe out the Nagatsuki family. The next day, Hyoma prepares for the day, and Boden thanks him for saving Kagami the day before. Boden wishes him good luck in convincing you to give him her signature, while the rest of the Nagatsuki family worries if he'll succeed. When Hyoma arrives at Yu's place, she has already sealed the evil Tsukumogami and sent them to the afterlife. Yu makes it clear that she hates Hyoma and won't give him her signature. In her eyes, all she sees is his hatred toward Tsukumogami. She gives him the option to surrender or fight her for it. Yu attacks with hairpins, but Hyoma dodges, refusing to fight back. Yu keeps provoking him, but he doesn't retaliate. He tells her that over the past few days, he has begun to understand the Nagatsuki family's good intentions and won't attack them unless they give him a reason. Yu stops attacking, and meanwhile, Hari talks with Hyoma's grandfather, who hopes Hyoma can overcome his hatred of Tsukumogami. After the fight ends, Hyoma asks Yu if her hatred towards him is because he insulted Boden on the first day. He also wonders if Yu loves Boden, which embarrasses her. In her flustered state, she attacks him with a hairpin, hitting him in the stomach and sending him flying. Just then, the enemy Tsukumogami arrive, along with the other members of the Nagatsuki family. The enemies want to cause trouble, but Nagi asks Yu where Hyoma is. She admits she didn't seal him on purpose. However, the leader of the enemy Tsukumogami, Haikake, orders his group to kill Hyoma. They try to attack, but the Nagatsuki family stops them by fighting back. Nagi realizes that the enemy Tsukumogami have been killing humans. Haikake immediately confesses, boasting that he enjoys it because humans are just toys to them. Hearing this, Hyoma, still sealed but listening, breaks free out of rage. His hatred for the evil Tsukumogami flares up, and he quickly dispatches the enemies one by one. His anger turns to joy as he destroys Haikake, leaving everyone around him frozen in shock. Despite seeing Hyoma's strong hatred for Tsukumogami, Hari holds on to hope. Since arriving at the Nagatsuki family, Hyoma has shown some small changes. She believes that Hyoma, who had everything taken from him by Tsukumogami, and Boden, who was saved by them, might one day help unite humans and Tsukumogami. In a flashback, we see an older man entrusting baby Boden to the Tsukumogami, who then became the Nagatsuki family. Hyoma successfully won over all the Nagatsuki family members, and Boden was thrilled that he did it. Hyoma apologized for insulting her family on the first day, but she reassured him that she wasn't upset. It was then decided that Hyoma would stay with the Nagatsuki family for a year. Boden asked him if he could cook, but before he could answer, Hari and Yu showed up with a special request. They brought Hyoma into the living room, where the Nagatsuki family welcomed him as a potential husband for Boden. Hyoma was completely caught off guard, and Boden blushed, embarrassed by her family's eagerness to find her a suitor. After all, the family's souls were bound in vessels made from wedding items, so their greatest wish was to see Boden happily married someday. Hari also mentioned that Hyoma's grandfather was aware of this plan all along, and by gathering signatures, Hyoma had somehow secured everyone's approval to be a marriage candidate. Everyone eagerly awaited Hyoma's answer, but he cleverly replied that he had only just met Boden and needed to get to know her better before making any decisions about marriage. The family was surprised by his quick thinking, and Boden was relieved, though still a bit flustered. Later, outside the house, Hyoma revealed his true feelings and blushed. The next day, Boden didn't know how to act around Hyoma, while Hari found the whole situation amusing, watching her lovely Boden struggle. Later, Hyoma called his grandfather to ask if he had really planned everything with Hari. Then, Hyoma went looking for Nagi and Yu, but they had already gone off to fight some evil Tsukumogami. Boden was going out grocery shopping when she unexpectedly ran into Hyoma. She apologized for the wedding talk, but Hyoma assured her that it was fine, though he accidentally made her feel sad, like he had rejected her completely. Suzuri and Kagami overheard their conversation and explained to Hyoma that his words had come off the wrong way. On her way to finish shopping, Boden was still bothered by what Hyoma said when she was suddenly confronted by Hanarashi, an enemy Tsukumogami from the Takaini group. Hanarashi's allies had distracted Nagi and Yu, leaving Boden vulnerable. Just when it seemed like Hanarashi would strike, Hyoma appeared out of nowhere and cut off one of Hanarashi's arms with a special weapon. As the battle raged, Nagi and Yu also arrived, leaping from a rooftop. Nagi, in his concern for Boden, overdid his attack and accidentally hurt Hyoma, but he quickly apologized. After the fight, as Yu checked on Boden, Nagi thanked Hyoma for saving her in time. Boden also expressed her gratitude, and Hyoma apologized for hurting her feelings earlier. He even hinted that he wouldn't be opposed to the idea of marrying her someday, which made her blush furiously. The next morning, Hyoma caused a bit of trouble for the Nagatsuki family. He stuck talismans all over the place to protect Boden from any dangerous Tsukumogami. However, Nagi pointed out that the talismans were too strong and were giving everyone headaches, including regular humans. Meanwhile, Hyoma's grandfather, Zohi, had a meeting with Hari in Kushigi. They were invited to visit one of the most powerful Tsukumogami, named Kai. When they arrived at Kai's place, Zohi, Hari, and Kushigi were immediately attacked by Kai, who used his armor abilities to block their path. However, Zohi repelled the attack with his signature weapon and demanded Kai stop playing games. Kai apologized and released his attack, thanking them for coming. Sitting beside Kai was Itsuki, another dangerous Tsukumogami. Zohi wanted to know why they were called there, and Kai answered simply, he was bored. Kai had a contract with the Kanadu family in the past, one that kept him trapped in this place. He could summon anyone to visit him at any time. Hari had great respect for Kai since he had been around since the Edo period and was one of Kyoto's 3 strongest Tsukumogami. Kai was curious about Hyoma, having heard that Zohi's grandson was now living with the Nagatsuki family. Back at the estate, Hyoma collected the talismans, as Nagi had mentioned they were harming regular people. When Hyoma had only 3 more talismans to collect, he noticed something strange. At the same time, Kai learned all about Hyoma and why Zohi had entrusted him to the Nagatsuki family. Kai warned Zohi that no one should attempt to use Boden's power and that many parties were preparing countermeasures. Hyoma was in danger. Suddenly, dangerous Tsukumogami appeared and confronted Hyoma, asking if he was the one who had placed the talismans on the walls. Hyoma tried to trick them by claiming he was working for the government and looking for the culprit himself. However, the enemy Tsukumogami, Aogi, saw through his lie. In a quick move, Hyoma sealed one of the enemies with the Kanato seal and then attacked Aogi. Aogi dodged the attack using his Tsukumogami abilities, and soon, Uchiki, another enemy Tsukumogami, broke free, giving them the upper hand. Yu tried to contact Hyoma, wanting to help him collect the remaining talismans, but Hyoma didn't answer. He was too busy getting beaten up by Aogi and Uchiki under a bridge. They dragged him to a secluded place, intending to interrogate him. Hyoma tried to seal them again, but Uchiki revealed her ability to possess multiple layers, making it impossible for Hyoma to win. Aogi wanted information from Hyoma, not about the Nagatsukis but about what the Kanadu family was planning. Many suspected they were after Boden's power, but Hyoma knew nothing and thought Aogi was trying to trick him. Determined to protect Boden, Hyoma started fighting earnestly, ready to wipe out the enemy Tsukumogami. At that moment, Aogi realized Hyoma genuinely had no idea what was going on. Suddenly, Yu appeared and stopped the fight, clearing up the misunderstandings. She explained that Aogi and his partner had permission to be there as they were carrying out orders from the Seinomis. Before leaving, Aogi warned Hyoma that someone had been watching them recently. On the way back, Hyoma was deep in thought about Aogi's words concerning Boden. He decided to learn more about her. The next day, Hari wanted to meet Hyoma and decided to take him on a date. In reality, the date was an excuse to show Hyoma the truth about Boden. It started in the morning after Hari returned from her meeting with Kai. Hyoma, curious about Boden, asked her a series of ambiguous questions that left Boden confused. Boden was already tired, having not slept for days due to finishing a report for school. She ran off to the university, barely listening to Hyoma. Eventually, Hyoma explained that Aogi's words had made him curious about Boden, clearing up the misunderstanding that he wasn't making a love declaration. Hyoma wanted to know everything about Boden from Hari, so he could better protect her in the future. Kagami was unsure about revealing the truth, but Hari decided it was time Hyoma knew everything. So, they set up the date with Hari getting all dressed up. During the date, they kept a close eye on Boden, as the whole event was just an excuse to reveal the truth to Hyoma. When Hyoma wondered why they were chasing Boden, Hari asked him to sharpen his senses. Hyoma immediately noticed the countless stares from evil Tsukumogami. They were watching from all directions, zeroing in on Boden. Determined to protect her, Hyoma wanted to take them all out. But Haori stopped him, explaining that Boden had been watched since birth and was used to it. Boden managed to get her finished report to the university just in time. Her friends then asked if she had recently met a charming man. Boden was caught off guard and realized she had spoken to Hyoma earlier but hadn't really listened. Haori explained that Marabitos choose objects as vessels and become Tsukumogami. When a Marabito chooses a human vessel, it becomes a powerful being called Yorimashi. It turns out that Boden is a Yorimashi, and both Tsukumogami and humans want her power. That's why there's a law against using Nagatsuki Boden. Hyoma was eager to ensure that Haori and the others weren't after Boden's power. Haori laughed at his concern, remembering Boden's lonely past. As a child, Boden was avoided by many because she could feel the stares of Tsukumogami. Haori explained that Boden had always been very lonely and thought creepy because regular humans couldn't sense the Tsukumogami's gazes. Haori reassured Hyoma that they only wanted to make Boden happy and see her grow up in joy. They had developed a kind of parental love for her. Understanding that the Nagatsuki Tsukumogami loved Boden and meant no harm, Hyoma felt relieved. Haori then offered Hyoma the option to return to his grandfather's house if he thought things were too risky. Hyoma declined, saying he would always protect Boden. Suddenly, Kagami appeared, having overheard everything. She remarked that she expected nothing less from Boden's future husband, making Hyoma blush at the idea. Boden, who was on her way home, wondered why the three were together. Haori quickly changed the subject to distract Boden. Hyoma asked Kagami about Boden's parents and relatives. Kagami said she didn't know Boden's parents, but her grandfather had taken care of her. When he passed away, Boden was left alone. Back home, Boden learned from Haori that Hyoma knew about her past and everything else. She feared Hyoma would now avoid her, but he assured her he had no reason to. This made Boden happy because he accepted her as she was, despite the danger. In winter, Hyoma was starting his daily workout when Boden stopped him, handing him a pocket warmer. Hyoma thanked her and began his exercise. Suddenly, Aogi appeared, and Kagami sent him to Suzuri because she didn't like him. Aogi had learned that Kagami disliked him because he had previously injured Hyoma. Aogi informed them that most of his employers accepted that Hyoma was with the Nagatsuki family just to train. However, some groups were not happy about it and were planning countermeasures. Suzuri wanted to know which groups were planning these countermeasures. Aogi reported that 3 different groups were not pleased with Hyoma staying with Boden. First, there were the Genbai Tsukumogami group. Second, the Katamari group from the Sinones, who were among the protectors of Kyoto. The last group, the most dangerous, was the Bureau of Traditional Music. These groups believed Hyoma was with the Nagatsuki family to exploit Boden's power. Aogi himself didn't know whether Boden or Hyoma would be the primary target. Suzuri asked who might attack first. Aogi mentioned a message from the Katamari group and handed Suzuri a written note from them. He then left the mansion. Nagi and Kagami arrived, thanking Suzuri for the intel. The Nagatsuki family suspected Aogi had more information he didn't share. Aogi had indeed missed one detail. He recently encountered a Tsukumogami with an umbrella who showed interest in the Kanado family and then vanished. Later, Hyoma dressed up and went to the Katamari group's mansion. He had been informed that the leader, Taiju Katamori, was an old man known for playing dirty tricks. Hyoma was shown the fighting style of the Katamari group, which involved using talismans and strategic combat against Tsukumogami. He learned that the Katamari group viewed Tsukumogami as monsters to be eliminated. Taiju Katamori declared that Boden and the Nagatsuki family were monsters and demanded Hyoma seal them, including Boden. Hyoma refused, saying he wanted to protect Boden and saw her as a human, not a monster. He thought it was wrong for Taiju to want to kill people like Boden. Taiju, enraged by the refusal, tried to coerce Hyoma into cooperating by attacking him with talismans. Hyoma deflected the attacks and accepted Taiju's challenge. Meanwhile, Taiju's daughter took an interest in Hyoma. The old man tried to intimidate Hyoma, claiming that despite his experience, Hyoma didn't stand a chance against Kyoto's Tsukumogami. He believed Hyoma's region had weaker Tsukumogami, and only Kyoto had a truly strong one named Anigawa. Taiju revealed that the Katamari group turned Tsukumogami into puppets using talismans to fight enemies. Surrounded by Tsukumogami puppets, Hyoma fought back fiercely. He used the Kanado weapon, proving how dangerous he was. Hyoma had been fighting Tsukumogami since he was 12 and had defeated a powerful Tsukumogami, Anyagawa, by the age of 18. Despite facing many Tsukumogami, Hyoma managed to defeat all the puppets. Taiju summoned a new puppet, Jugun, whom Hyoma recognized. She was the Tsukumogami which they had examined earlier. Taiju's daughter, Tsubaki, recalled that her father saw Tsukumogami only as tools and didn't care for them. Hyoma, hesitant to harm Jugun, defended rather than attacked, which led to him being injured. Taiju noted Hyoma's growing sympathy for Tsukumogami and his reluctance to attack a familiar face. Taiju found it ironic that Hyoma's grandfather sent him to learn about Tsukumogami and become stronger, but Hyoma had only grown more compassionate. Hyoma dodged Jugun's attacks but did not retaliate. Suddenly, Hyoma was wounded on the face. He retaliated by striking Jugun on the head with his weapon. At that moment, Taiju tried to make Hyoma his puppet, but Hyoma countered quickly, saving Jugun and defeating the Katamari group. Impressed, Taiju asked why Hyoma saved Jugun. Hyoma responded that it was his intuition. This answer made Tsubaki laugh, and she stopped the fight, taking a liking to Hyoma. She even threatened her father that if he continued to fight Hyoma, she would side with Hyoma. Afterward, Taiju claimed that everything had been a test to see if Hyoma was strong enough to exorcise the Tsukumogami in Kyoto. Hyoma believed the old man's big lie, much to the shock of the Katamari group. They took a liking to Hyoma and gave him Tsubaki's phone number, which he could call anytime. Jugun was placed in Hyoma's care, and he took her to the Nagatsuki mansion. When Hyoma appeared before Boten in tattered clothes with the beautiful Jugun by his side, it led to a major misunderstanding. Hyoma then explained everything about the fight with the Katamari group and that Jugun would be taken to the Kanado family the next day. The next morning, Hyoma wanted to take Jugun to the Kanados, but first, Jugun wanted to visit a special place. Boten joined them, and they headed to a house where Jugun had lived when she was still a mortal tool. Jugun felt a connection to this house and had some memories of her old owner. Afterward, Jugun was picked up by the Kanado group. Hyoma promised her she would be well cared for by his family. Jugun thanked Hyoma for rescuing her and helping her out. Before leaving, Jugun made one last comment. She said Boten was no ordinary human. She warned Hyoma that Boten's power attracted many Tsukumogami, so he should protect the kind and lovely Boten from harm. On their way home, Boten asked Hyoma why he was so tough on Tsukumogami. Hyoma shared his tragic past. His beloved siblings were killed by an evil umbrella Tsukumogami, so he always thought all Tsukumogami were bad. However, he learned from the Nagatsuki family that there are good Tsukumogami too. Hyoma admitted he still had a lot to learn and needed to work on himself. Boten cheered him up, saying he had already changed his attitude toward Tsukumogami. In the following days, the Katamari group searched for a missing member and discovered blood left by the Sojendi group. In the morning, Hyoma was about to go on a mission when Yu got angry at him, jealous of his plans. Meanwhile, the rest of the Nagatsuki family stayed at the mansion. Yu told Hyoma about their assignment, preparing for a fight against the Sojendi group, a very dangerous Tsukumogami group known for using torture tools. Hyoma learned that in the past, the Seinomis of Kyoto had a hard time defeating them and had never fully destroyed the group. 4 years ago, the Sojendi also joined a battle, which led to Kushigi strengthening their home's protection. When they arrived at the meeting point, Tsubaki teased Hyoma, saying he'd be working with her today. Hyoma discovered that the two women were friends. Just as they were about to discuss their assignment, Aogi appeared. He explained they needed to go to the mission location, where the other Katamari group had set up radar to find the Sojendi. Aogi led them to an empty house where Sojendi members were staying. Taiju Katamori had a part of the Sojendi group under close watch. The Sojendi had agreed not to cause trouble. Aogi wanted to leave, having completed his mission, but suddenly, he was attacked. An enemy tried to kill him, and more Sojendi members appeared. Hikiri revealed they had tortured a Seinomi and tried to extract information. They were surrounded by other Tsukumogami. Hyoma decided to wipe out the enemies, and they prepared for battle. Aogi didn't want to fight, so Tsubaki used a puppet talisman on him, making him fight against his will. The enemy Tsukumogami attacked fiercely, and the Sojendi members were eager to fight, thanking Hyoma for giving them a reason to break their contract. Hyoma ignored their taunts and focused on defeating his opponent. Meanwhile, Taiju Katamori sealed one of the Sojendi henchmen and tried to find the Sojendi leader. Aogi attempted to persuade an enemy Tsukumogami to let him go, but was insulted for being a puppet. Aogi got angry and decided to fight. While you and Hyoma fought other Tsukumogami, Hyoma gave you a chance to attack. Hikiri was hit by one of Yu's needles meant to seal him, but he managed to break free. The enemy Tsukumogami self-destructed, regenerating his wounds, and then injured Hyoma and Yu. Despite this, Hyoma didn't give up. The enemy knew Hyoma's weapons, the Shibiki Eva, door handles to the afterlife, were dangerous. He thought Hyoma was weakened by a leg injury and aimed to defeat him. Hyoma dodged all attacks, and when it seemed he was in trouble, Hikiri realized something was off. Tsubaki defeated one of the Sogendi Tsukumogami and warned Hikiri that Hyoma would finish him off. Hyoma cut through chainsaws, making Tsubaki feel Hyoma's hatred for Tsukumogami. Aogi obliterated his opponent, who was distracted for a moment. Uchiki's lair also thinned, revealing Uchiki was a woman. In the end, only the chainsaw Tsukumogami was left. He revealed his true power, turning into a chainsaw monster. Yu, angry, prepared to show her full power. Before attacking, she winked at Hyoma, signaling him to retreat. Hyoma didn't understand the plan but followed her lead. Yu launched her attack, and Hyoma took the chance to defeat the enemy Tsukumogami, who was flying with a house on him. Hyoma created a path through the house with his weapons. After the fight, Hyoma received a lecture for misunderstanding the plan. Hikiri, defeated, tried to escape but Taichu Katamori knew where he was. Taichu called him a loser and told him he was just playing with him. Taichu ordered his Tsukumogami puppets to execute Hikiri, sending him to the afterlife. Hyoma's mission was complete. He asked Tsubaki why she also hunted the umbrella Tsukumogami. Tsubaki revealed she had met Hyoma's siblings as a child and admired their talents. She wanted revenge because Hyoma's siblings were geniuses like her. She shared Hyoma's goal of killing the umbrella Tsukumogami and offered him a chance to join her in hunting Tsukumogami. Tsubaki's offer was tempting, but Hyoma noticed key differences between them. Tsubaki, gifted and bored easily, saw revenge as a game. Her attitude toward Tsukumogami was like her father's. Hyoma considered her offer but ultimately declined, surprising everyone. On the way home, Hyoma explained his decision. He had sworn at his siblings' graves to gain strength and prevent further tragedy. He also wanted to protect Boden from danger and change her mind about him. The next day, Hyoma had to find a cooking pot with Boden. He asked if Kushigi had seen it, but Kushigi was busy playing chess with the neighbors. Hyoma also learned that the other Tsukumogami in the Nagatsuki family got along well with humans. Later, everyone gathered at the Nagatsuki mansion. Hari wanted to prepare sukiyaki, and everyone was assigned to get ingredients. Hyoma and Boden were tasked with finding the cooking pot. Hari gave Boden a love plan to win over Hyoma, making Boden nervous. Hyoma suggested looking for the pot in the warehouse while the others did the shopping. Hari used her Tsukumogami skills to get meat, and Boden bought vegetables. While shopping, she noticed Hyoma and Boden alone and decided to head home immediately. Kagami used her powers to find the freshest fish, Suzuri flirted with the fruit seller to get strawberries at half price, and Nagi took care of the liquor, winning against a saleswoman. Boden was nervous about Hari's love plan, wondering if Hyoma was worried about their future together. She dropped the love plan out of her pocket, and Hyoma told her not to worry about it. Boden was surprised Hyoma stayed so calm and formal. She tried to see his reaction, but Hyoma was reluctant to show his blushed face. As they stumbled, Boden realized Hyoma was interested in love. Suddenly, Yu appeared, using Yu's powers to seal Hyoma. They learned that the neighbor had their pot. That evening, they completed their errands and celebrated Hyoma's move-in and Boden's third year at the university. They enjoyed the sukiyaki together, and Hyoma didn't let Kagami drink alcohol because she was a child. Kagami transformed her body and drank alcohol anyway. Meanwhile, Boden had a little too much to drink and ended up in a heap in his arms. This made Nagi and Yu quite mad at him. Hyoma got her water to drink and commented that the Nagatsuki family reminded him of his own siblings. He added that she had a wonderful family. In the following days, Hyoma went shopping for special battle clothes with Boden. Hyoma got a magazine from the Katamari group, which claimed they had clothes so tough, they'd withstand any battle. When Hyoma and Suzuri saw Taiju Katamori on the magazine cover, they were shocked. They couldn't believe Taiju was modeling for their magazine. Hyoma noticed a small note saying to pick up the clothes personally and to expect a test. When Hyoma opened the door, Tsubaki greeted him, surprising him by taking a photo with him. Then she embarrassed Hyoma and Boden by asking if Boden was Hyoma's girlfriend. After introductions, Tsubaki led them to where the Seinomi clothes were made. Hyoma wanted to know more about the test mentioned in the magazine. When Tsubaki opened another door, a set of clothes sprang out and wrapped itself around Boden. A Tsukumogami named Mada, who made the clothes, introduced himself. Mada explained that Seinomi clothes are alive and form a bond with their wearer. He then showed Tsubaki's new clothes, which fit her perfectly. Tsubaki was used to living clothes made by Tsukumogamis, but Hyoma was hesitant. He didn't want to wear living clothes, fearing they'd be a bit too clingy. Determined to overcome his aversion, Hyoma slapped himself in the face and decided to give the clothes a chance. Mada told him he needed to connect with the material. Tsubaki explained that to tame the material, Hyoma needed to treat the clothes as either a friend or a servant. Hyoma announced to the clothes that he'd win their respect with a good old-fashioned fistfight. As a result, the clothes punched Hyoma with a giant fist. Hyoma took the hit and, using all his strength, defeated the clothes material. Hyoma managed to tame the clothes, and later, when he got his new outfit, he was pleased to see it resembled his old clothes. Tsubaki told her father she'd met Boden, which shocked Taiju. He couldn't believe it because, when he first met Boden, he didn't think she'd ever trust humans. In the following days, Hyoma helped Boden at her university, putting up a sign. Boden's friends picked her up, so Hyoma headed back to the Nagatsuki mansion alone. Meanwhile, Suzuri and Nagi were also at Boden's university when Nagi spotted Itsuki, one of the 3 great Tsukumogamis of Kyoto. She noticed Hyoma and used her powers to imprison him in another dimension. Then Kai appeared, curious about Hyoma. Kai challenged Hyoma to a fight to see his powers. Hyoma realized Kai was one of Kyoto's great Tsukumogamis and prepared for a tough battle. Hyoma tried to defeat Kai using his Chibiki Eva, but Kai dodged and injured Hyoma. Kai was disappointed and said Hyoma was too weak, threatening to kill him if he didn't improve. Meanwhile, Itsuki encountered Nagi and Suzuri, threatening to destroy them if they interfered. Kai mocked Hyoma, saying he was too weak to defeat the Umbrella Tsukumogami. Hyoma asked Kai for information about the Umbrella Tsukumogami, but Kai didn't answer and instead taunted Hyoma, saying his hatred wasn't strong enough. Hyoma, determined, attacked Kai with all his might, landing a punch, but Kai wasn't defeated. Hyoma was thrown to the ground. Nagi and Suzuri then attacked Kai together, combining their efforts. Kai, enjoying the fight, initially wanted to duel with Nagi. However, Nagi knew he didn't stand a chance and said they had gathered all the information about Kai's true intentions from Itsuki. Itsuki then told Kai that his time was up. Kai became paralyzed and passed out. Hyoma asked Nagi for help, as he was stuck on a huge sword. He learned that Kai only wanted to greet him and had no intention of killing him. Kai had permission to meet Hyoma, but Itsuki apologized for Kai's harsh words, noting that Kai had told the truth about Boden. The Tsukumogami then disappeared, and Hyoma requested some time off from his duties with the Nagatsuki family. Suzuri granted him a vacation, knowing that the rumors were troubling him. Hyoma left the family, and Boden was shocked by the rumors. In the following days, Kagame and Yu noticed that Boden was acting strangely. Boden, unsure about her past, went to Taiju for answers. Taiju remembered Boden as a monster and was shocked she had become so innocent. Taiju embarrassed Boden, knowing she was worried about Hyoma. Suddenly, Hyoma appeared. Boden learned Hyoma had been training with the Katamari for 3 days. Hyoma wasn't angry, he just realized from fighting Kai that he needed to get stronger with the Katamari family. Taiju sent Hyoma home since he had almost learned all their techniques. On their way home, Boden told Hyoma she overheard his conversation with Kai and was worried he was angry with her. Hyoma reassured her that he wasn't angry. He wanted to become stronger to get answers from Kai. Boden learned that Kai wasn't lying when he said she didn't trust people because she was kidnapped as a child. Boden shared her tragic past. She was taken by relatives, then kidnapped by Haran. Satsuki, who wanted to protect Boden, treated her like a mother, but Satsuki was killed by evil Tsukumogamis seeking Boden's power. Boden was left at the Nagatsuki mansion with no trust in anyone because of her past betrayals. Hyoma comforted her, promising that she could trust him. He said he was a terrible liar, so she had nothing to worry about. Boden was touched by his words and felt reassured that he would protect her forever. That marks the end of Season 1. Thanks for watching, see you in the next one.